Hi, I'm Alessandra. I'm the advisor for the Middlebury School in Argentina. Welcome to our info session. Today's info session is just going to be a brief overview of the program, and we'll have time for questions at the end. But any other questions that you might have, please do feel free to reach out to me as well, and I'm happy to have a further discussion with you at some point about the program. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about why you might want to choose the Middlebury Schools Abroad for your study abroad experience. Middlebury focuses primarily on linguistic and cultural immersion, and we provide this in a number of different ways. One of our highlights of the program is what we call the Middlebury Language Pledge. And this is a promise to only speak Spanish the entire time you are in Argentina or the language of the country wherever you happen to be studying with Middlebury. This way, we can ensure that students have the most opportunity to improve their language proficiency and get themselves to that next level while they're abroad. We also include things in our program in Argentina like homestays and local excursions that supplement language and culture courses, all to give students the opportunity to have a well-rounded and immersive cultural and linguistic experience. Another prime feature of our programs is something that we like to call guided independence. And this is the idea that aside from some foundational elements of the program, like the language pledge, like having the expectation that students will be going to class regularly, that they'll be good homestay guests, etc., we want the students to make the experience what they want it to be. So whether they want to be using their free time to take lots of local art and dance classes, or to volunteer, or to do things with their host university, whatever is most meaningful for them, we're here to support and to provide guidance on how to do that. We also offer a wide variety of academic options through our program. We are a direct enrollment program, which means that students will be choosing from a host university where they'll be taking the majority of their classes. And we'll talk more about that in a moment, as well as about our specialized tracks that we offer for students who may be interested. So what's so special about the school in Argentina? There are a number of features that make this a really great option if you're interested in studying in Argentina. We are located in Buenos Aires, which is known as the Paris of South America, and that's due to its size and to its cosmopolitan nature. So it has this really wonderful mix of European and South American cultural influences to it. The program is not very big, so you do get a chance to get to know everybody on the program and to get to know the staff. On average, we usually have about 10 to 15 students every semester. We do have 2 full-time staff members who work for the school, and they are available 24/7 for anything that the students might need. We also have 2 part-time staff members as well. And then, as I mentioned in the previous slide, we offer a lot of program sponsored excursions and cultural activities throughout the semester so that students have a chance to spend time together as well as with the program staff and to get to know one another. So a little more about the academic program at the school in Argentina. As I mentioned before, this is primarily a direct enrollment program. So students will choose from one of 3 host universities to enroll in. They can either choose the Universidad de Buenos Aires, and specifically either with from the humanities faculty or the social sciences faculty. Students do need to pick one or the other. That is sort of a unique characteristic of UBA. They can choose from the Universidad Católica Argentina, which offers a pretty wide variety of classes, sort of your typical liberal arts variety of courses. And then Universidad Torquato di Tella, which is a small private university that specializes in the social sciences. So it's particularly strong in subject areas like poli-sci, econ, and history. And I'm here to help students decide which university would be the best fit for them. Aside from the academics, there are also differences in the atmosphere and the type of university that each of these are. And so sometimes students are looking for a large public university and want to experience that, in which case the University of Buenos Aires is a great choice. Or they might like the idea of going to a small university, in which case Torquato di Tella might be the best option for them. But again, I'm here to talk through all of that, so feel free to reach out anytime if I can be of help. The standard course load for the host universities is either 3 or 4 classes, depending on which university you choose. Regardless of that, though, all students will take a half-credit writing and culture course that's led by the Middlebury program. So this will be a class that usually meets about once a week. It'll be all of the students on the program, so it's a great chance for them to touch base and connect and share experiences with a Middlebury faculty member, and then work on their academic writing as well as explore different cultural topics of interest. There is also the option to replace one of the university courses with a credit-bearing internship. It's really important to keep in mind that not all universities and colleges in the US grant credit for internships. So if this is something that you're interested in, you'll just want to double check with your advisor or your study abroad office to make sure that you can get credit for an internship while in Argentina. And then finally, as I mentioned before, there is also the option to enroll in one of 3 specialized tracks. So a little bit more about these tracks. One is the intermediate language track, and this is really great. It's new for us, and we're really excited to be able to offer it. It's designed for students with 3 or 4 semesters of college level Spanish or the equivalent. So basically students who have completed the equivalent of intermediate 1 or intermediate 2 while in college. As a part of this track, students will enroll in classes at the Universidad Católica's Español como Lengua Extranjera, or Spanish as a Foreign Language program, as well as the Programa de Estudios Latinoamericanos program, or Latin American Studies program. So these are courses that are designed with Spanish learners in mind. They are conducted completely in Spanish, but again, are designed to support Spanish language acquisition in students who are still gaining proficiency. In addition to those classes, you'll also enroll in the Middlebury-led Tango and Identity course with an accompanying writing seminar. So you'll still have a chance to take a course with our Middlebury faculty and with other students on the program, in addition to taking these specialized courses at UCA. And depending on the student's language level and interest, there may also be the option to do a 4-credit internship. I do need to make a special note here that for students coming from Middlebury College, because of the college's language requirements for studying abroad, this track would not be an option for Middlebury students. We also have a public health track in Argentina. This is open to students who have met the 5-semester or more Spanish language requirement. This track focuses more on the social aspects of public health and of health systems, particularly from an Argentinian perspective. And Argentina does have a more socialized healthcare system, so it can be really interesting for students to compare and contrast the system in Argentina with the system in the US and in other countries. Students can choose to take courses either at UBA and their social sciences faculty, or at the Universidad Católica, and there is also a credit-bearing internship that is a part of that track. And then finally, we have the Tango and Identity track. This is the foundational course for this track is that Tango and Identity course, specifically Tango, Gender, Ethnicity, and the Body. So it explores issues of identity within the Argentinian context through the lens of tango, which is a really interesting mix of different subject areas. Students would also enroll in the humanities faculty at UBA for additional courses related to this theme, but in a number of different areas. So it could be art and art history, philosophy, history, gender studies, literature. So whatever angle or approach interests the students most. Like with the public health track, this is there is the option for a credit-bearing internship. And there are also additional monthly extension activities like visits to dance schools, visits to Lunfardo academies. And Lunfardo is a dialect that's found in Buenos Aires and is sort of associated with some of the populations who are also most heavily involved with tango, and also milongas, which is another type of dance and dance performances and get-togethers. And again, like the public health track, the Tango and Identity track is open to students who have met the 5th semester Spanish requirement. Some other features of the program that are helpful for students to know, one is housing. So again, as a part of our focus on linguistic and cultural immersion, all students do live with homestay families. These families typically will provide 2 meals a day, so breakfast and dinner. Lunch is usually on the students' own time since they're out and about during the day, and there are lots of very inexpensive places to eat within the city of Buenos Aires. Placement involves filling out a questionnaire during the pre-departure phase of study abroad, and from the answers on that questionnaire, our staff at the school in Argentina will place students with a family that most closely matches the profile that they're looking for. All students are also matched with a tutor or a peer mentor for the first few weeks of the program. So this is somebody who is a local university student and is really interested in getting to know international students and helping them acclimate to Buenos Aires. So we certainly encourage our students to take advantage of this new connection. Oftentimes, these students can also introduce our students to their friends and show them around and really help them to start building up their social networks. Some of our host universities also offer a padrino or a buddy program as well, which our students are also encouraged to take advantage of. As I've mentioned, there are excursions and cultural activities peppered in throughout the semester. There's always one multi-day program excursion each semester to a different part of the country. In the past, students have gone to Iguazu Falls or to Mendoza or Cordoba, so it's always a destination of interest for students. And then there are usually smaller day trips or activities offered within the Buenos Aires region during the semester. Most of these excursions and cultural activities are subsidized by the program, so they're offered at little to no cost to the students. And then finally, along with this idea of immersion and guided independence, we really want our students to take advantage of everything that Buenos Aires has to offer. It's a city that's really rich in culture and history and in the arts. And so there's lots and lots to do and many different ways to get involved, whether it's through taking classes, through joining clubs or sports at the local host university, volunteer opportunities. There are many different options, and our staff have a lot of information about how to get started with some of these. So all the students need to do is ask, and we're happy to connect you and find ways to help you get involved. The dates and fees are good to keep in mind, especially because the Argentinian academic calendar tends to be the opposite of the US academic calendar. So for students studying in Argentina in the fall semester, they'll usually arrive in mid to late July, and they'll be there until late December, right before the end of year holidays. Students studying in Argentina in the spring semester would arrive in mid to late February and stay until mid to late July. The semester tuition and health insurance for the 22-23 academic year is $15,970. So it is different than the Middlebury College tuition, which is good to keep in mind. All other costs, so room and board, personal expenses, travel expenses, are considered out of pocket. And that doesn't mean necessarily that financial aid won't cover it. It just means that students will be paying for these things as necessary throughout the semester. So it's up to them to manage the payments and to use any aid or grants or scholarship funds that they receive as they need to throughout the semester. Students coming from Middlebury also have a $1,900 study abroad fee per semester. And if you're a student at another college or university, you can check with your study abroad office to see if there's a similar fee that will apply in your case. For Middlebury students, Middlebury Financial Aid does travel to the school in Argentina since it's a Middlebury program. Visiting students are encouraged to consult their student financial services office ahead of time so that they know what to expect in terms of financial aid and how it might apply to this program. If you are interested in applying and you're a Middlebury student, you want to apply by February 1st of the year before you hope to go abroad. So regardless of whether you're hoping to go spring or fall, February 1st of the year before will be your deadline. If you're a visiting student from another college or university and you'd like to go abroad in the fall semester, you want to apply by March 15th. And for the spring semester, apply by October 1st. Our application requirements are that students have a 2.67 or a B minus average overall with a 3.0 or a B average in their major related courses as well as in their Spanish courses. As I've mentioned a couple of times, completion of 5th semester Spanish or the equivalent of 5 semesters of Spanish at the college level is what we expect for most of our program options. The exception being the intermediate track, for which you only need to have completed either 3rd semester or 4th semester Spanish. All students do need to get approval forms from their advisor. Middlebury students, this will be your major advisor. Visiting students, this will be an approval from your study abroad advisor in the study abroad office at your school, and an assessment form from a language professor. And then for visiting students, there is also a $75 application fee. If the application fee presents a financial burden for you, we do have a waiver form that you can fill out. Please feel free to contact me for more information about that. And then finally, there are lots of different ways to get in touch with us and to connect with us. There is the official School in Argentina website, as well as our pre-immersion site, which offers some suggestions for different media that you can check out ahead of time and different interesting things about studying in Buenos Aires. There are also some videos of interviews with former students talking about their experiences, which is also really helpful. We have a Facebook page and an Instagram account as well, so you can follow the goings on during the semester. Definitely talk to your study abroad advisor and also reach out to program alumni. We have a list of returnees who are happy to talk with prospective students. So if you would think or find it helpful to talk with students about what it was like to study in Buenos Aires, at the University of Buenos Aires or at DTELA, that is certainly something we can help you with. We do also have a list of students who have self-identified with different communities, whether it be LGBTQIA+, students of color, students living with chronic medical conditions or disabilities, and who have offered to be resources for outgoing students as well. So if you would like to connect with returnee based on a particular identity community that you are a member of, or want to know more information about what it's like to study in Buenos Aires as a member of a certain community, please let me know as well, and I'm happy to connect you with those particular students. And then finally, feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can email me, give me a call, and we can always set up a time to talk via Zoom or Skype as well. Okay, so that's all